Greetings friends, so today I wanted to cover just a session of me prompting inside MIDJOURNEY, focusing on using different camera types and focal lengths. Now throughout the video, sometimes I say lenses a lot, and what I mean by when I say lenses, I'm talking about focal lengths. I could do another video that actually does do different lenses. We can try different camera and lens combinations, but in this video, I'm talking about focal lengths. I think I go over 24 millimeter, 50 millimeter, 120 millimeter, and I think I go down to 14 millimeters. But anyway, when I say lenses, I mean focal length, and I do correct myself a lot. But anyway, I hope you find something valuable during this video, and yeah, let's get right into it. So first things first, let's jump into our Discord here with our friend MIDJOURNEY. So what I kind of want to do to start off is create some sort of like cohesive prompt that we can kind of generally stick with the entire time to kind of be able to test cameras and lenses and just test little variables. And so full transparency, I haven't really done this deep dive personally myself. So this is really just going to be us testing this out together. Like I'm not even sure of what the results are going to be, but if you watch the whole thing, I guarantee there's going to be something that you'll be able to take away and use. And if not, I do apologize for taking your time. All right, so here's how I like to kind of structure my prompts here. First off, I like to start off with like, what is it? So I think let's go with a modern day superhero. I like to use street photography. I think that's sick. We're gonna go 50 millimeter. This is where we're gonna start trying different stuff. So let's start with a focal length of 50 millimeters first, because I think it's awesome. And we're gonna go with a Canon EOS R3 camera. Why did I choose this? I'm a photographer in real life too, and a videographer, so I kind of do know a couple different awesome cameras. I've gotten to work with them and all that stuff. And so, but if you wanted, you can just Google like awesome cameras or top cameras, top photo cameras. You can Google anything and find a bunch of different cameras. So, but yeah, we're gonna start off with the Canon EOS R3 because it's an awesome camera. And then after what camera I use, I like to kind of give my prompts like a style. So let's go Balenciaga. We'll do Balenciaga. Then I like to add my colors. So let's go red and green because why not? We'll go ultra. We can spell right. God damn it. Ultra realistic. Let's do 4K. And then we're gonna do an aspect ratio of 3:2. And if you guys don't know how to do aspect ratios, it's just two of these little liney guys. We'll do AR for aspect ratio. Definitely have to add that space. This wouldn't work. So space and then give it your aspect ratio. I think when you're going for photo type stuff, I think it's really good. I think using 3:2 is the best bet. Okay, so let's see. All right, so here's what we got. Here's how we're gonna kind of start this. Again, I really have no idea how I want to continue, but let's learn some stuff. Let's do it. This guy looks like Gary Gensler, this little third guy. So first thing I'm gonna do is kind of, should I pick all of them? I kind of like this one. Yeah, I do like all of them. We'll just start just in case I want to use those later. But now what I like to do is let's just try a different focal length. So we're gonna use everything else the same. And then we're going to change 55 to, let's say, 24 mil. It's a wider lens. Let's see if it does anything different. This is the worst part, the waiting. This is going to be the hardest part. I mean, I guess we could just talk but if I throw in these comedy bits in between all these renders, you guys are not going to watch. Cool. So let's see what we got here. This is the 24 millimeter. That was the only thing we changed. Let's see if we can how are we going to make this side by side? Let's open. Okay, so this is a side by side comparison of the two different prompts. Again, the only difference we had was the focal length. This was on the left side here. This was 50 millimeters and this is 24, which is a little more wide. I mean, the first thing I guess I kind of noticed is that it might not be playing that big of a role because each of the four quadrants kind of is similar to the other four quadrants. But I mean, I can also make the argument that this awesome image here, 4 is that is kind of what I was going for. That is a wide angle. This is pretty much a wide angle. Let's try one more. Let's see what an 85 millimeter does. And let's see if the 85 gives us 4 more like upfront images. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You'll see. So let's scroll through. I also want to save a couple of these. I mean, these are all freaking cool too. I probably won't want number 2. So we'll go 1, 3, and 4. And then, so we'll try one more. We're going to copy everything. And we're going to try this in 85 millimeter. Okay. And then while we're doing that, because this is going to take forever. Let's try one more. So we'll go back to the first one, the 50 millimeter, our original prompt. This is the one we'll probably keep going back to. And let's see, let's change the camera. So let's go with the Sony Alpha 7R5. It's a great camera. It's got 61 megapixels if you're interested. So yeah, so everything is the same as our first prompt, and we kept the 50 mil, and now we're trying a different camera. And as that one goes, we can kind of start to see, what did we change here? Oh, right, this was an 85 millimeter camera, which is supposed to give it's a much more zoomed in. And yeah, I think it's at 3 out of the 4 definitely look what I was expecting with an 85 millimeter. Again, these are fucking sick. I really like this guy, obviously. This guy's freaking awesome too. And this backpack is sick. See, I like everything. MIDJOURNEY is so fucking cool. Okay, definitely does look like the focal length is playing some sort of role here with the 85 millimeter. I'm excited to see the different camera, if our Sony is going to come up with some better images or not. I love to just scroll through. Like, aren't these sick? Wow. I hate this waiting game. It's going to bother me. It's going to be a long edit, but I think it's going to be worth it. You guys better like this shit. I really like this Gary Gensler. Doesn't this not look like Gary Gensler? I know everyone hates him. And it does, even though we use superhero, it does give Gary Gensler villain vibes, which is interesting. The AI is onto something, right? We put in superhero, and this guy looks like he's a villain. This guy's sick. He's just probably eating lunch. Look at him. He's snacking on a fucking sandwich that his mom made. Wow, these guys are sick. All right, so here is our Sony image instead of the Canon. Okay, so now let's do a side-by-side comparison of, so this is the Canon and this is the Sony, and all we did is change the camera type. And what do you guys think? There's definitely a difference in the images. We got a boot here, which is kind of interesting. But we also got the Superman or the superhero's face here. Yeah, so I mean, I guess I can't really tell if there's a consistent difference yet, but actually it's still pretty cool. So I am going to save a couple of these. I think I want to use this guy and this boot here. Let's see then, just for shits and giggles, we're going to keep the camera and let's do, should we try 120? Let's do 120 millimeter lens. Try the 120 and we'll try the 24 with the Sony camera. Oh, now it's going to give it to me right away. Now it seems to be working kind of fast. I'm starting to see that the 120 does give it a closer feel, which is what we should expect. That's cool. And I think it should be starting on the 24 soon. Yeah. So here's the 120 millimeter with the Sony. I'm really liking image 1 and 4. 3 is kind of cool too, but let's do 1 and 4. And as the 24 millimeter starts to sprout up, I am noticing that it is giving us more of a full body image. So okay, I think if you go kind of on the extremes with the focal length, you will be able to kind of control how the image looks, right? So 24 mil is more full body, very wide angle lens, and then the 120 is kind of like a zoomed in. I mean, let's show them side by side. So here's a side by side comparison of left is 24 millimeter focal length and right is 120 millimeter focal length, and we are starting to definitely be able to control it, which is sick. More wide angle. Should we try a 14 millimeter just to see if it gives us like full body? Why not? That's why we're doing this, right? So we're going to try one more. Imagine. We're going to type in or copy paste, and we're going to try a 14 mil. And a 14 millimeter, obviously, maybe it's not obvious, but as the smaller the number goes, the wider the angle. And what I'm going to do after this is I think I'm going to switch back to a Canon with one of these focal lengths that I've really liked. First off, I do really like, God, I like so many of these. I kind of like all 4 of these too, but it's going to take forever to upscale all of them. I don't care. Awesome. Okay, so as our 14 millimeter is coming up, I'm starting to notice slight confusion. Gave us a camera, which is really actually super awesome. Damn, sick as fuck. And actually, not too bad with these two. Not gonna lie. So, I mean, 14 though, we have to also consider the popularity of focal lengths that the data set probably has. And 14, I don't think is the most popular focal length by any means. I think 50, 85, 24, 120 are more common. So you gotta also consider that. I mean, you could also probably just go you could probably type in super wide angle. And I mean, that's kind of what we're doing, but not at the same time. We're not just telling it wide angle, close up. I'm sure those help too, but I think it's fun to mess with actual focal lengths. I think that's cool. These are sick too, man. I love Superman superhero legs. This guy's fucking sick. The camera bag is sick. So it's going to probably take forever to upscale these, and then I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, so we got all of our pictures rendered here. Man, again, can't get over how awesome these are. Sick. Okay, and I totally forgot that I was also going to try to do weighting to see if I'm going to try to see if I give the lens a weight higher than everything else, if that plays an even bigger factor. So now I want to compare lenses to lenses that are weighted with a 2 or maybe and a 3. Let's try that just to be able to clearly see if there's a difference. So let's pick a lens that we like, let's pick why do I keep saying lens? Let's pick a focal length, because we can also maybe add lenses. We'll do that maybe on another episode, like an actual lens, like a Sigma lens versus, GM prime lens. We can try all that different stuff too, maybe on a different episode. If you're interested, actually, here's a good time. If you're interested in more of these, subscribe to the channel. I don't think you guys understand how much ego drives me. So if you guys start like subscribing to the channel and liking this stuff, I'm just gonna feed it to you all day, because it's an unfortunate thing. It's good for you guys maybe, but like my love language is just like being loved. And so if you guys love my stuff, I'm gonna keep rocking this stuff out. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, right. Let's just see what's different when we do a 24. So here's what we'll do. We'll copy this. Jesus, get your brain together, dude. We'll copy this. And for the 24 millimeter, we will add a 2 as a weight. So let's try that. And then let's do the same thing, but add a 3, which is really weighted. So let's see what happens when we do that. Again, no structure at all to this. This is kind of just how I go through things. I like to test different things. Okay, so here's kind of a side by side of the lens being weighted a 2, and the focal length being weighted a 2, and this is the focal length weighted as 3. I mean, first off, just a lot of fucking sick ass images. This guy's sick as hell. This guy's sick as hell. I mean, I just love all of these images anyway. Wow, I'm gonna like all of these. Jesus, too good. Oh, okay, and this is the focal length weighted as a 3. Actually, it didn't do a bad job. I know I feel like I've mistakenly talked about focal lengths previously. The focal length doesn't necessarily have to mean up close or full body. I completely said that wrong. Like, you can shoot close-up subjects with a 24 millimeter, and you can get full body images at a 120 focal length as well. Like, those are all possibilities. And so when I'm actually starting to look at these now, like, yes, this is obviously shot on a 24 because it's still a wide angle. I mean, maybe I'm biased because I really like MIDJOURNEY, but it does kind of seem with these two differences that the weight obviously did play a role. Because this is really focused on the heavily weighted on that. What else can we try? What should we put a weight on? Okay, what if we put a weight on Balenciaga now? So let's go back, and it'll be the only thing that's weighted. So we'll copy this prompt, and we'll take away this weight, and to Balenciaga we will add a weight of 2. And then why not, we'll copy this, and we'll try Balenciaga with a weight of 3 and see what difference we have between that. That'll be fun. Okay, our first one seems to be coming out. Sometimes it's fun to watch as the AI draws his images, if you will. These are starting to be pretty cool. So as you see, as compared to some of our previous ones where Balenciaga didn't have a weight, with this one, it does kind of look more fashiony, right? We have almost like a scarf on this guy. It's not a scarf, but it's a superhero scarf. This definitely looks more like, this bag looks Balenciaga-ish. These look Balenciaga-ish. So as you see, as we heavily weight, but see now, now this is weighted as a 3, the Balenciaga, and it really doesn't make sense, I don't think. Even though this image is number 3 is sick. Look at this guy. Damn, sick. I like so many of these. I'm sorry. I have to like these, and then it's going to take forever. Okay, so I think it's fair to say we prefer the Balenciaga weighted as a 2. And so I guess, I mean, I kind of have found that if I think about it, is that when you weight something kind of more than 2, I mean, although this image is sick. Again, we really actually have no intention with what we're trying to get. We're kind of just testing things. So I was going to say, usually if something's weighted a 3, the images don't come out as good. But that is, I guess, that good is subjective, really. So I guess in my opinion, but actually now that you think about it, like these two are really awesome. I really like this one too. But you see how we're kind of like using the main prompt and kind of just choosing a couple different variables to test. We tested some lenses or focal lengths and some cameras, and we've tested with some weights to give things a weight. Let's try one more difference. I want to see the difference between cameras. So let's go, these all came out cool. So let's try this prompt because it gave us 4 awesome images, I think. And let's go back to, what camera did we use before? What was the first one? We've been on Sony for a while. Oh, the Canon EOS R3. So let's change the camera again, and we are going to compare this Canon EOS R3. Which one were we? Oh, with 24 millimeter Balenciaga weighted 2. This one. So let's download this to be able to give it a side-by-side comparison to the so this will be testing the cameras again. Isn't this exciting? I think it's exciting. It's just fun. Okay, it's coming out. So what did we change? Oh, this is changing different cameras again. Okay, do we have the other one open? Yes. So we'll wait for this to finish. We'll save it, and then we'll do a side-by-side. I'm starting to notice, actually, I want to see them side by side. Wow, these are fucking sick though. Okay, so these are the 2 different cameras. Same prompt both ways. It's the 24 millimeter focal length with the Balenciaga weighted 2. And this is the Sony and this is the Canon camera. How sick is this guy? God damn. He's sick. This guy's sick. This guy's sick. Let's get these back in the front. This guy's cool too. Damn, I'll probably upscale him too. Let's see if we can point out some differences. I hate coming from a place of like saying like I know more, but it just so happens that I do have experience with both Canon and Sony gear. And so basically I would explain my differences, my opinion of the differences differently to someone who I think also has experience with camera gear. But I think if you do have a lot of experience with the different cameras, I think you actually will be like, these differences make sense, especially when you look at Sony. This image 2, that is cliche Sony camera. And I would say Canon 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 on Canon is a good example of the difference between a big difference between Sony and Canon. Again, they're general relative differences, right? Because even with each camera, you can always take it into Photoshop and change, like you can manipulate both. They're both great cameras, and you can manipulate them both anyway to kind of look like the other one was shot on the other one. Anyway, I do think the cinematicness of the second picture here on Sony, I think that is a great example of MIDJOURNEY really knowing what Sony is. Anyway, yeah, these images are freaking sick. What else do you guys want to see? I don't know how long this video is already. I wonder if we can end it with one more. What should we end it with? Prompting a weight differently? Ooh, actually, okay. Let's try one more thing. I'll leave you guys with this. It's something I also really like to do. I like to take an image I like this one. Let's open the image in a new tab so that we can use it as part of the prompt. We're going to copy it, and I'm going to start with the image. And I like to put brackets after every image regardless. It's just something I gotta have it into. I don't think it makes a big difference. So basically we're gonna start with this image, and I like to reuse that prompt with the image and change one thing and see what it looks. Whoops, God, why does this thing suck right now? It's exactly what I wanted it to. Okay, so we're using the same image. First, we're using that, and then we're putting the same prompt that reduced that image right after it. And let's change one thing. I mean, obviously the coolest thing to change, and I think the easiest to see let's change the colors. So let's change them to orange, and then let's do the same thing. So we're gonna copy that whole prompt, which is the image and the prompt that produced it, and we changed orange pink here. Let's change the focal length, and we'll go back to the Sony. It's for you guys just to like see how much fun you can have and how you can just change little things, and it's awesome. Okay, so now we're gonna try the same thing again. Remember we copied the image, same prompt, and then we changed the focal length and kept the colors. So we're gonna do a cool side by side. Let's see what happens. It's gonna be a long video. Okay, we're starting to see. And so remember, where was it? This is the image that we're using, which was cool. And watch how we'll get some type of consistency at least. See, it's the same kind of guy. Oh, where's the other one? Oh, it's still going. Okay, so this is the Sony camera. And see, like, I'm telling you, MIDJOURNEY loves its own images. It's like an egotistical artist who really likes their own work too. And so reusing MIDJOURNEY's images and then with the same prompt you also use, I feel like, I know this is stupid and I know that's really loud behind me and I'm sorry. Maybe I'll wait for it to pass. Anyway, what I was saying, while we wait for the Canon one to show up, what I was saying was MIDJOURNEY loves its own images. And so I really like this. So I really like this process of using an image output that MIDJOURNEY made with the same prompt that made it again and changing a couple things. You get really nice, relatively consistent, awesome images. I know this sounds stupid, but it's almost like you're telling MIDJOURNEY, you're like hyping it up, like, oh, I really like your images. I'm going to use your images as inputs. It's stupid, but to me, it just feels like you get rewarded. It feels like it's rewarding you with such great images by feeding it its own images. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, again, these are all sick. I can use all of these. And you know what we should have done? We'll do it. We'll do it. Let's try a different style and see what that does. This is going to be a long video. I hope you guys want to watch it. See, there's so many things I can do. I can take the image that MIDJOURNEY made. That's what I'll do. Let's take this one because I just really like it. Again, so we'll open this image, copy. We're going to do imagine. We're going to paste that image. I always give it brackets. You don't have to. And I'd like to do commas again. I don't think you have to. We're going to use this prompt that it used to make it. And then let's change Balenciaga. What's another? I don't want to do like another high-end fashion. I don't want to do like Gucci or nothing. I don't want to do Chanel. What's like a laid-back one? I was thinking Kohl's, but that's a store, not a. What's like a casual streetwear brand? Casual streetwear brand. Super soft. Adidas. Let's try Adidas. Okay. I can't wait to see what that gives us. Man, it's going to take forever because I upscale all these. So as it's coming up, let's remember what. So we chose this image to use it as a default, we inserted it as part of the prompt to keep some type of consistency. Let's see if it comes out. And all we changed was Balenciaga to Adidas. And here's what we get by using Adidas. Well, the first thing I noticed is it kind of definitely looks like not fashiony, right? Like the pompous, there was like a pompousness to the other images. And Adidas is more like a streetwear brand. And so I think it definitely played a role. Obviously, any words play a role. But yeah, either way. Okay, I think that's the last thing I'm gonna do, because these trash cans are really annoying me. So thank you guys so much for just sitting in on a MIDJOURNEY prompt session with me. I do hope you found something valuable that you can just go play around with, or just brought some type of curiosity or something. Feel free to try out these prompts with a bunch of other things and whatever you think of. And I'd quickly like to re-emphasize how important it is to me and how much I'm driven by your feedback. It really means everything to me, you know. And so I'll be honest, like I appreciate the thing. I appreciate the small things that you guys can do, like subscribe. And I'm not gonna lie, that stuff kind of does help feed my ego, even though it's irrational and I understand that. But I'm aware that I do really like to see number go up. But as always, I'm open to feedback, open to criticisms, and open to suggestions. So feel free to also leave some comments below, just telling me what you think. And if there's anything else you'd like me to go into. All right, catch you next time.